So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the show. That's right. Before I get into all the topics that I want to share with you guys out there, if you watch connoisseurs, collectors, you guys that are obsessed with watches, I'm going to ask you guys to not forget to give me a big thumbs up. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, that's going to help our channel continue growing, even though you know, we have to keep on. The fight must continue. The fight must continue. So please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, a big thumbs up, because, this is your channel. And I know why I'm telling you this, which I will be telling you in the next couple of minutes. So it's your channel and it's your duty, to, ¿tú entendiste? So give us that, that like and, all that good stuff, mumbo jumbo, share, tell your friend, tell your other friend, your cousin, the law firm, the stockbroker, let them know what's happening. Number one watch market update show in the world, chosen by no other than, you know who. We gotta quit with the words, we gotta quit. Anyway, guys, I want to talk to you about a few things, a few topics that I need to share with you guys. We are a channel that we come to learn from each other, because if you guys don't think that I learn from you and you don't think Joaquin learns from you, you're wrong. We learn from you guys too. We learn a whole lot. So just to let you know, if you learn from us, maybe you might think, well, he's the only one teaching us. No. You guys are teaching us, because me and Kino are also, somos unos lambones, somos unos palomos, and somos unos sapos, we're frogs, we're a bunch of frogs ourselves. And we learn from you guys, and that is the honest truth. From every single one that is live right now with us, we learn from you. Just to let you guys know about that, just to let you know, because we like everybody to shine in this channel. We would like you guys to be doing all the talking, and me and Sweet Kid Kino to me, Joaquin to you. We would like to sit back and just listen, because we're that kind of people. We like to listen. We like that. So just to let you know, we want all of you to shine, because you guys teach us. But I want you guys to know something. We are just one. We are just one unit. We are one platoon. It's just us. Us against them, and against them, we're talking about, so you understand what I'm trying to say. We're talking about 100,000 against one. And to be honest, I can tell you all day that the watch market is dead, but it's just me saying that. This is just me saying that, and also Joaquin. And then you have 100,000 that are saying that the watch market is alive and well. We know the watch market is dead, but remember, it's 100,000 against one, against us, our army. And it's impossible. You see, it does work, because I have gotten you guys to come to this channel because you understand that the watch market is not correct. And many people know it out there. But when you have that type of platform that they're being protected and defended, I might say the watch market is dead. And they do this to me, and to them, they opened it up for them. So again, I want you guys to know that, to keep it in mind. It's a very, very hard job to do, because it's just me alone. Me alone. I will continue to tell you the same word again and again. It's me alone against the Muppets. And it's a hard thing, even though I have done a lot of damage. Believe me, we have done a lot of damage. But again, you're talking about 100,000 against one. It's like, you have one channel. So listen, the thing we have to do is we got to throw bots to this guy, throw bots up. We got up, up vote, down vote. Let's throw him bots of this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And your channel Like when you were in fourth grade, your teacher would put you all the way in the back of the line. You could never, reach your hand. Teacher, teacher, they would put you in the back. You ever had that teacher? You ever had one of those teachers when you were in elementary school? She would put you all the way in the back, like you were a mashugana, Unbelievable, that teacher. Well, that used to happen to me, and it always happened to Kino, Unbelievable. So I'm telling you this so you know what's going on, So it's not an easy task because it's just us against them, and it's brutal. It's brutal because the game has really tightened up. The game has really tightened up now. We can see it all. We can see what's happening. We can see what they're doing. We can see the way everything is being manipulated. We can see it. You guys can see it, but we could because we have our glasses on. You understand? It's like a movie that one of my subscribers from this channel recommended to me. They Live. The movie They Live is unbelievable with Rodney Piper. That wrestler guy. Back in the early '80s, he was unbelievable. That wrestler. He would fight everybody. He would come out with a dress on, a skirt, and he would, that guy. He did that movie, and it's an unbelievable movie. And I always tell you guys always that you need to wear your glasses so you can see. And in that movie They Live, they wear their glasses, sunglasses, and they see the whole thing. And this movie that Mr. Donut recommended to me and Sweet Kid Kino, we saw it last night, and it's a movie that I remember the movie. I'm gonna tell you that movie when it first came out, so you understand how the world works. This is for you, Mr. Donut, so you understand because I remember this movie. The first 2 weeks that movie was released, Papa, you need to watch this movie, and you might find it you might find, I don't want to use the word corny, but maybe you might find that it wasn't the best. How can I say? You know what? It was a good movie. How's that? Never mind what I was gonna say. It's a good movie, and this movie when it was first released this movie was the #1 movie in 1988, I believe, the first 2 weeks. Listen to this, man, guys. Listen to this. So the message that Carpenter, Mr. Donut, please, if I'm saying the director, the producer of the movie was Carpenter, right? Carpenter. He had this movie, he put it out. In the first 2 weeks, it was #1 in the movie theaters all over the place. But the owners of the world, they got mad because that movie was sending out a big message. Thank you very much, Mr. Donut. Yep. And there's a part in the movie which it's unbelievable, and it goes like this. In the movie They Live, they say there ain't no more countries. They're running the whole planet, and it's true. These people are running the whole planet. They're running the whole planet. Vanguard, State Street, BlackRock, Rothschilds, J.P. Morgan. You understand? The Rockefellers, the Black Eye Club. They're running. And this movie is telling you the whole thing. I don't want to get into, tell you what it's about, but they're not like us. They're not like us. Exactly. They're not like us. And you got to watch this movie because I've been telling you guys forever, don't forget to watch the movie The Network. And it's only fair for me to give glory. And I want my people to shine in this channel and say that, Mr. Donut, he recommended a movie that, I forgot all about it. To be honest, I did forget about it. And you got to see it. It's unbelievable the way these monsters work and the way they operate. It's unbelievable. And I'm telling you one more time, just in case you forgot. And again, Mr. Donut will say if I'm lying or not. The first 2 weeks that the movie was released, the whole world went bananas watching the movie with the guy with the sunglasses. He would see skulls and, shape, whatever you call them, lizards, and all these things. They're all out there running the whole planet. Forget about the world, that planet. They're running the whole planet, Papi, and this is what's happening in reality to all of us because we don't. It might sound corny to you, but it's not. And let me tell you, first you had the movie Network in 1976, and then you had this movie. So you can imagine how many years they waited for another movie to come out, to that effect. In 1988, They Live. Rodney Piper. He wrestled against Hulk Hogan and those wrestler guys. Unbelievable. And another thing that they talk about that you really don't want to bring that up, but sometime later, Rodney Piper was one of us. He was in our army, and suddenly, yeah, you see that Roddy Piper, Roddy Piper. Thank you, Mr. Donut. And somewhere along the way, maybe Mr. Donut will be able to tell us what year Roddy Piper passed away. He left the world, like George Carlin, all these people that he left the world. Nobody knows how he left the world, but he left the world. And that's how it is. And this is what they do to people like me and Sweet Kid Kino. Out. Because the information is too powerful, and they're not going to give you this information, but we will. Not only will, but also our organic subscribers will, because I'm gonna tell you something, and I gotta say things the way I feel. For some time, Mr. Donut was writing down that subliminal message. You need to watch the movie They Live. And honestly, I saw it until I said, we gotta watch this movie. We gotta watch this movie and to so we can understand what's happening all over again. And it's very, very powerful. There's a part in the movie that there's a chick, the Roddy Piper, he gets her and he takes in her car and he says, you need to take me here, take me over there, we need to go to your house, and she was also another bad lady. Maybe Mr. Donner will tell you the word that she was, unbelievable, and she she ended up being good, bad, everything. She was unbelievable. These people are monsters. They are monsters, and you need to know what's happening. You guys need to know what's happening. This is another chapter. This is going back to chapter. I'm going to take this one to chapter 4. This is going back to chapter 4. They Live, dedicated by no other than Mr. Donut. Mr. Donut's working in this channel as well. Unbelievable. We have Mr. Ed Blair. We have Thurston Howell III. We have all these figures in this channel. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. If I'm leaving somebody out, you know what I'm trying to say. But you need to watch the movie now. They Live. The Network was filmed in 1976 release, and They Live was in 1988. And sometime later, after the movie was released, the owners of the world said, pull it out. Pull it out. Pull it out. And when they pulled it out, Roddy Piper, he had a slip and fall in the bathtub and he left the world. I'm not saying that's what it was, but you know what I'm trying to say, okay? All right, I hope you guys understand me. Today I feel it's what it is, guys. We got Franco Fiore here. It's unbelievable. We have an unbelievable channel. With these 11 organic watch channel subscribers, we can finish. Because if you watch the movie They Live, it was just them. Their little army against all these people. So try to understand me. It was them, with 300 against the world, and they got them. I'm not gonna tell you the movie, because if I tell you the movie, you're not gonna go watch it. And you gotta go watch it because the movie está bueno. I'm telling you. Listen, guys. When there is something here that they don't want you to know, either us in our channel or in the world, they'll take your glasses off. so you won't see. They'll take your glasses off so you won't see. And that movie gives a great message. So I want to thank very much Mr. Dona for really, really, I don't want to say you were insisting, but for giving out that subliminal message. Hey, you need to watch They Live. It's an unbelievable movie. So my respect to you again for sharing that movie with us. All right. You see, that was the news I have for you, Mr. Dona. It wasn't bad. It was beautiful stuff. All right, guys. Also, I want to talk to you about a different subject. Again, I want to tell you again before I go to the next subject. Again, there was a part in the movie, and it's at the end of the movie, and the man says, maybe Mr. Dona can write it for you guys better than me, but they say, and it's an old man in the movie, and he comes out and he says, there ain't no more countries anymore. They're running the whole planet. You understand? They're running the whole planet. So, it was incredible when he said that, To me, I gotta be honest, and you might say, well, Juan, why are you saying that? To me, that was probably the most scariest part that I heard in the movie, That, you know what I'm trying to say, right, Mr. Donut? When he says that, when he says there ain't no more countries anymore. They're running the whole planet, it's unbelievable. It was scary, but enough of that. Let's go back to what I was gonna say. I just want to share that catchphrase that he said. It's unbelievable, right? Oh yes, right. It was very like wow what he said. It was powerful. Anyway, we are going to be talking about another subject that I talked to you about this a couple of weeks ago. Maybe last week it was. I don't know when it was, but I talked to you about Bernie Madoff, right? I think his name is Bernie Madoff, right? Sí, el pirámide, el pirámide. Bernie Madoff, with all honesty, he was a bad man. He was a bad man. He was ruthless, and he didn't care who he had to burn, to continue his, to continue that. He didn't care. And some people, they learn and they continue. If you and me decide to do one of these, it'll work like a charm. It'll work like a charm. You say, but how? It'll work like a charm. There is a watch company that we talked about, which is called Avanti, or whatever it is. One of these schemes. And these people did that, and they started offering this watch to people out there, and they started offering watches to people which were people that collected very highly and had very unbelievable watch collections. The Pateks of the world, Nautilus, Rose Gold, the Richard Milles, the APs, just mammoth watches they wanted, because it was easier for them to be able to, do what they wanted to do to you. And there's people out there, they're still, not too long ago, gave away deposits for that watch that they're never going to get. They're never going to get those watches because that is, I'm not going to be afraid to tell you, that's a pyramid. It's a pyramid. It's a pyramid like anything else. And it's not a good word to be saying that, but that's a pyramid. And people got burned. And now they're coming out saying that, that they're this kind of a company, that they're like this, they're honest, they're this, they're that. But guys, it's part of, it's part of getting fleeced and getting flim-flammed. If you do it correctly, if you pick and choose the right people to join your flim-flam, it's gonna work like a charm, and the guy picked people like, Wonderful Mister, and all these people and Deputy Droopy Butthole Eyes with the Tweety Bird haircut, all these people, And so don't think for a moment that you are going to get your money back, that you're going to get your money back, or that you're going to get a watch. This is just basically, I'm going to say it one more time because you got people making all kind of content out there. It's very simple. It is a pyramid. What they did to all those people to take away their money. This is why it's very dangerous when you're watching things out there and you watch figures out there promoting and labeling something. Maybe like, let's say one day I become so, you guys believe so much in me, and I say that, this, with this pin right here, you write in a piece of paper the country you want to go to, and you get there, and you might believe that this pin right here that I am endorsing does that. It's unbelievable, but that's how it is. And all these people have been, it's an investor company. You come out with a name, and you say, like the name of my company, right? My stone company. Let's just say Stone Company. And I'm looking for investors, and I look for Mr. Blair, I look for Mr. Thurston Howard III, I look for Mr. Donner, for Mr. Alberto, and these are investors to come in. They come in to do this, this thing, this thing they're gonna get you. They're gonna get you. And he did get a lot of people, this person. He got a lot of people. When people are giving when people are giving thousands and thousands of people are giving, 15, 10, 20, $30,000, Bobby, you're gonna get everybody. But there's a moment in that transaction you're doing, while you're receiving the money, everything is running beautiful. Please help me out if I'm saying it wrong. It's working beautiful because money is coming in, and you keep on greasing up, wonderful Mister, Tweety Bird, the Toddler Body Brothers. You're greasing up because money is still coming in. But that's like a wheel. It's like a train wheel, Ha! It gets locked, and when it gets locked, the money ain't coming no more, and that's when the problems start. And what's happening now to make it, so I can finish with this already, is they're now delaying this, giving you more time before all these people, they got flim-flammed and fleeced, and hoodwinked by these hucksters. Before they take them, to the court, they need more time, more time. Delay. Another 4 months, write another letter before it gets to that, and before they say, hey, the company is gone. This is, aparentemente, apparently, this is what is going on. I'm not going to say the story's 100% like that, but that's how it works, Papi. And it works. This is how these people become monsters. And then, you get pinched, but you don't get pinched in the sense that you're gonna do some time. What they do is, hey, we did this, it came out back, we try to find investors, we try to find a plan to do our watches for us, that fell through, blah, 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 blah. And what happens is, they come with, fines, 4 million fine, 5 million fine, this, blah, 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 whatever's left of the company, try to give it back to those, people that give you deposits, and that's it, mira. And that's it. You understand? Not like that Bernie Madoff guy, that was a different story, that was an animal, $58 billion, the people in West Palm Beach, were taking the Picasso to go pawn it, So it's what it is. And then they were working with samples, You make 7 samples, this is what I have, this is the line that I have. Those are the only 7 watches you have. Guys, listen to me, man. How can I say this when I can say it the correct way? When there's a new product coming from Italy or from Spain, they send me a box, right, of samples. Let's say 7 samples. And they say, we have these new 7 marble samples coming out of the quarry, out of Verona, out of Carrara. You understand me? out of Alicante. This is in Spain, Alicante, Spain, Carrara, Italia. I get those 4 samples. I start showing them to every designer that I know, every architect that I know, all over the place. This is what I have. I'm going to be the only one having this material, blah, 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 blah. And it's the same thing, only I'm not doing the pyramid. I'm selling my material for real. These people were taking deposits on those watches that they were never going to turn around and give it to these people. They were just, so it's what it is. I don't know if you guys understood me, but enough of the wishy-washy. You guys ain't gonna get no money back, no watches, and probably this watch in 6 months it will just collapse and that's it. And I'm gonna tell you something. I think they're doing it the right way, so they only get this. All right? Did I come across all right? Did you guys understand me? I'm giving you all these, subliminal messages to see if you guys, catch on with me, It works like a charm, Bobby. You gotta be careful. There's too many people out there. Their mind is, is only thinking, how can I get this person, taken, and they're out there. They're out there the whole day, man. They're out there the whole day. You just need to put on your, your glasses so you can see what's going on. I have a good watch market update for you guys. I have a good watch market update for you guys. And I want you to pay attention so you know what's happening. Our first watch is an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Rose Gold 39 millimeter smoke dial. This is a beautiful watch. AP Royal Oak. Reference number 16202, ultra thin. And this watch at one moment was over $135,000, $140,000. So be smart with your money. And remember, I'm going to say in this live stream the whole, the next 30 minutes, cash is king. If you have cash, you dominate the conversation. Don't pay for that watch more than $98,000, and it is dropping. Okay? It is dropping. $98,000. Our next watch is a Rolex stainless steel Land Dweller, 40 millimeter, white dial. Reference number 127334. I'll be there in a moment. Reference number is the 127334, the Land Dweller, 40 millimeter. I'm going to tell all of you that watch was all the way up there, 60, 65, 60, 58, 57. And I'm going to tell you today, you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for that watch more than $42,500. All right, guys? You do whatever you want. Listen to me, guys. It doesn't bother me if you pay $50,000, if you pay $60,000. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. You know who it bothers? The people out there. Those Muppet boiler room secondary grade watch market dealers and channels. They're steamed up. They're steamed up. If you guys think that with my watch market update, I don't bother them, you're wrong. I'm like a thorn in their anus. I'm like a thorn in their anus. And that New York watch show, it did. That's all I got to tell you, it did. They're selling to each other back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, hyping up the watch among themselves. That's all they're doing. Nothing else. There's no money out there, Papi. The free government money has dried up. No money out there. Guys, the grocery stores are empty. The grocery stores, forget about the eggs. Now we're talking about grocery stores are empty. Restaurants are empty. There's no money out there, papi. No sean ignorante. No sean ignorante. There's no money out there. Let me explain to you something. Collecting watches is beautiful, man. Having a beautiful watch on your wrist is a nice thing. It is. It is a nice reward. It is nice. But you guys cannot be palomos. You guys cannot be palomos. You know, you can't. You can't be palomos. Our next watch, ladies and gentlemen, is a Rolex stainless steel Datejust with a green dial, 41 millimeter. Reference number 126334 with a fluted bezel. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want, papi. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that 41 millimeter Datejust, green dial, fluted bezel. Don't pay more, and I mean don't pay more than $11,800 and dropping. You do whatever you want, papi. You do whatever you want. Our next watch, ladies and gentlemen, it is another Rolex, two-tone GMT Jubilee bracelet. You know, they call this the Bruce Wayne. You know, there's no more, Bobby. There's no more PPP loans, Bobby. The party is over. No matter how much you try, you can't. You can't. But the problem is, I know where I'm at. I know where I left, what watch I'm in. The problem is that they got accustomed, se acostumbraron, they got accustomed to that lifestyle. And it's very hard, man, to leave that lifestyle. It's like telling me that, you can't travel no more, which that's one of my passions, to travel around the world, to look at birds and trees and the sky and the beaches and sand and people, all over the world. I'm going to feel bad, but that's just me, my lifestyle. That's my lifestyle, traveling with my wife. My wife loves me and I love my wife, and, it's unbelievable, And they told me that can't happen no more. I'm going to get mad. And the same thing happened to these people, you're driving around a red Go Fast car and you're wearing, Louis Vuitton Nike sneakers, ripped jeans, Montclair sweaters, Supreme hoodies, steak dinners, $17,000 steak dinners, with the guy throwing the salt. Things are so bad. Things are so bad. No sean lambones y palomo. Things are so bad that even the guy that threw the salt, they threw the salt, like that. He threw the salt like that. Am I doing it right? Kino, see that? Kino. Like that, the salt. Ta, 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 ta. That guy went bankrupt, bro. That guy went bankrupt. Se jodió. You understand me? And that's how it is. It's unbelievable, but I'll keep on with this. The Rolex two-tone GMT Jubilee bracelet, Bruce Wayne, 40 millimeter. That watch, when it was first released, it went a two-tone watch. It's disgusting, papi. It's disgusting. When you hype up a watch amongst dealer to dealer, you can put whatever price you want. You know how much that watch was going? At one moment, $45,000. That is a dog with fleas. A dog with fleas. I'm gonna be so disrespectful that I'm gonna say it's a dog with fleas. And I'm gonna tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more than $17,900. You do whatever you want, and it's dropping. It's dropping. It's dropping. Big time is dropping. You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Rolex white gold Submariner, blue bezel, black dial. I repeat, blue ceramic bezel, black dial, 41 millimeter, the new one, the new sub, white gold. This watch has a retail price of $48,000. 48, 46, something crazy like that. This is a brand new watch, ladies and gentlemen. Brand new watch. Exactly, the Cookie Monster. There you go. The Cookie Monster. Okay, Mr. Donor, how much am I going to say not to pay for that watch? Reference number 126619. How much? Does anybody know? Throw a number out there. And I'm telling you, this watch has gone all the way up. All the way up. Franco, that was the price. That was the price at one moment. But since the price continues to go up, by Rolex SA factory, the price keeps on going up. But that was the price. You were right at one moment, but it ain't that no more. I'm just going to do this to you. It's higher. One more price. Nobody knows it. Don't Google it. Don't Google it because it ain't fair. It ain't fair. I'm telling you, this is like a $48,000 watch. There you go. Somebody's talking correct now. I think it's Mr. Creative Experiments. Exactly. That watch right now is incredible. Don't pay for that watch. And I mean this, ladies and gentlemen. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more than $34,000. $34,000. And Mr. Franco Fiore put the number there, which it was at one moment. That price was at the 29, 28, 27.5, you know. But now with Rolex continue to keep on hyping up the prices, it's gone up again now. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not here to pull your hair. I'm not here to sell you any fantasies. I don't buy fantasies and I don't sell fantasies. I'm only telling you what's happening in the world. You know, they run the whole planet. That old man freaked me out in the movie. The old man freaked me out of the movie. I couldn't believe when he said that. There ain't no more countries anymore. They're running the whole planet. Unbelievable but true. You know what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen. Our next watch is a Rolex Yellow Gold Yachtmaster 44mm blue ceramic bezel white dial. This is an old release, you know, from 2008, you know. Unbelievable watch. Unbelievable watch, you know, with the gold hand, you know. It was one of the first release. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. If you want to sell fantasies and you want to buy fantasies, that's up to you. But don't pay for that watch more than $27,000. Don't pay more than $27,000. You know it's a collector's grade. You know it's a collector's grade, Franco Fiore. You know it's a collector's grave. But you do whatever you want. They can't even get you no more with collector's units, with collector's grade, with collector's dream, with collector's, you know, whatever it is. The word is collector's grave or collector's funeral curtains. Unbelievable, but true. This is crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a Richard Mille to those Richard Mille fanatics out there. Richard Mille, the RM030 Black STD, NTP, STP, NDA, you know, the STD. You know, unbelievable those materials, you know. Europe edition. The Europe edition, papi, the Europe edition, okay? No sean lambones, no sean palomos. Don't be dodo birds. Stop being obedient. You see, when I would tell you guys obedient, I will tell you the word obedient. Stop being obedient. Mr. Donut, listen to me, Mr. Donut. If you hear in the movie, they live, one of the biggest words that they use in that movie, I use the word obedient. Stop being obedient. You know what word they use in that movie, They Live? Obey. Obey. O-B-E-Y. They will go to a newspaper stand, they would open the paper, and the paper will say, obey. They will look to one of those billboards, you know, in the train station somewhere, and it will say in big letters, obey. This is the way they got you guys, papi. You guys obey too much. I'm the only one telling you that the watch market is dead. One, me and Sweet Kid Kino. Joaquin to you, Kino to me, right? One, they are 100,000 telling you every day that the watch market is up and running. And I'm telling you it's dead. And you know what they do to me? They do everything they could. You don't believe me? Okay, you don't believe me. Believe me. No me lo creen, Kino. The Europe edition. The Europe edition Richard Mille. RM030 Black, STD, NTP, STD, whatever you call it. Don't pay more than $209,000. And I have to do it. Dumping! Dumping! Kino, aguántame para atrás. Aguántame. Pújame. Dumping! I'm for real today. I'm telling you, Richard Mille watches it dead in water. Don't let the word Europe edition, don't. That's like the word obey. That's like the word obey. You got to put on your glasses. Paco Gambino will tell me in the 80s, Paco Gambino will tell me, Juan, Senti, escúchame. You need to put on your glasses. You need to put it on. Es un decir, it's a saying, put on your glasses so you can see. These people, they want you asleep. They want you to obey. They want you to be disciples of them. And I'm not going to let that happen because I don't want that to happen to you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Richard Mille RM6501 titanium. This is a 44 millimeter by 50 millimeter. This is a big whopper, big watch. It's big, it's a big thing, unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is you got to say the truth. You say the truth. It's an incredible watch. But don't pay for that watch more than $202,000. If you're banking on Richard Mille watches are dead in water. All those watches that I'm telling you, they're below retail price. All of them. You do whatever you want. I'm going to talk to you about a Patek Philippe. To me, this is of grand complications. This is a monster watch. I call this King Kong, Godzilla, Mammoth. You got to be a monster. You got to be a monster for this watch. This is Patek Philippe Complications Rose Gold 5270. With a black dial crown, all rose gold. I mean, this is the watch. I'm telling you, Papi. I'm telling you, man, panties will drop. Brasiers will just fly. And they take you by the hand wherever you want. This is the watch. It's a monster watch. King Kong, Papi, King Kong. Look at that. Alberto said a number. If Alberto's saying Patek Philippe, the 5270 is 130, man, he doesn't know his Patek Philippe watches. Are you saying that, Alberto? Give me a thumbs up, yes or no? Give me the thumbs up. Don't hide from us now. You said 130. We see it over there, Alberto. 130. Is it 130? Yep, $130,000. Anyway, guys, since Alberto doesn't want to give me a thumbs up, I'm going to tell you the price. Yep, he said yes. I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, for this Patek, this is a monster watch, Papi. A monster watch. The retail price. When I tell you the retail price, your hair's going to blow back and your socks are going to fly off. The retail price of that watch is $250,000. $250,000. Monstruo reloj, monstruo de reloj. Monster watch, monster. You did miss a lot of things today, Papi, but you're here. You're here. Yes, it's a monster watch, Mr. Donut. Monster watch. $250,000. And then you put your taxes on that watch. Your taxes. So you're up there, man. You're up there. I don't know, you're up there. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you because I got to tell you. No, it's not. The salmon is. But this is the black one. This is the black dial, Alberto. This is the black dial. The black stallion, like Secretariat. The horse? Kino! Unbelievable, Great watch. Unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, because Alberto told you don't pay more than $130,000, right? And I'm going to tell you because it's like that, This time Alberto didn't want to give money away. The rose gold. 146 by Thurston Howell III. And I'm going to tell you because I'm stupid like that. Because I'm stupid like that. Don't pay more. And I mean use slider condition material with all the bells and whistles. Oh, 130,000 euros. You see, he changed it. You saw that. Alberto changed it to euros. Good for you. Good call, Alberto. Good call. Wow, Alberto sabe de verdad. Se defendió. Good job, Alberto. He used the word euro. There it is. Don't pay for that watch. He pulled a fast one. Exactly. Don't pay for that watch. Go ahead, Franco. Tell me how much, Franco. To sell their Ferraris. Don't pay for that watch, ladies and gentlemen. Here it goes. Don't pay more. And I mean don't pay more than $136,000. And done. I'm telling you, the watch market is dead. Dead. This is a monster watch. This is a watch that goes to Sotheby's, Christie's, auction, you know? But it's dead. Dead. This is I'm telling you, this is, I seen this watch in my hand. You know, it's done. It's done. Beautiful. That's all I got to say. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Yellow Gold. This watch has been recently released. Listen and learn. Listen and learn. I got 25 organic subscribers and 13 thumbs up. That's how much you care about your army channel. Unbelievable. Increíble. AP Royal Oak. AP Royal Oak. Yellow gold. 41 millimeter. Open work. Skelly. Skeletonized. Whatever you want to call it. You know? Unbelievable watch. You know, una jodienda reloj. Reference number 15407BA. B as in boy, A as in apple. Open work. That's what it means, papi. There it is, the logo right there. That's what it means. This is an unbelievable watch. It was just released, ladies and gentlemen. But we have to be honest in this channel and say it the way we see it. You know? Unbelievable. ¿Qué clase de reloj vino? Open work, skeletonized and everything. You see the organs, the heart, you know, the kidneys. You see everything in that watch. It's unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, skeleton. Oh, my God. Thurston Howell III, 200, Papi, he says. Okay, I need one more. You're good. Ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that beautiful watch. And I gotta go because, you know, my channel right now is something is going on to it. I think, you know, they live aren't here. They live. Okay, here it goes. Wait till you hear this. This is the channel, oh man. This channel brings you the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. So help me God. AP Royal Oak, yellow gold. You know, there are a lot of people out here waiting for this update. Price on this watch. Right now we got 34. They're like this. Hurry up, say it. AP Royal Oak, yellow gold, 41 millimeter, open work, skeletonized. Reference number 15407BA. New release. Don't get scared, but don't pay for that watch more than $166,000. And dame, Kino, aguántame. Dame, dame. Dame, one more, Kino. Uno más. Dame. Dead. I know what I'm telling you. You have to be a mammoth. They take you to the back room. Over there in the boutique in AP. They do something to you back there. I don't know what that means, but they do something to you back there. You do whatever you want. Now, this is the watch that you all need to pay attention now. Kino, in 1908. We're going to be talking about a watch that all these cockroaches, we're talking about the big watches that were released, the ones that were going to be the big shot. And they were talking about a watch. Which is called the Rolex Platinum 1908. Listen and learn, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about the Rolex 1908 Platinum. Reference number 52506, ice blue dial, 39 millimeter. Unbelievable, this watch. It has come, from all the way from the back. In the race, he's been the one in last place. And he's already here next to the first horse. Right there, the first horse. Right there. Right there. You're not going to believe this. We're talking about the 1908. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, Mr. Donut. People were making fun of this watch. People were saying, what do they make that watch for? What this? What's that? And this watch has gone all the way up. All the way up. I mean, unbelievable. Ice blue dial, with a see-through back. You can see everything, the movement, the rotor, everything on this watch, And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe what these spoofballs, these flim-flammers, these hucksters, these hoodwinks, are saying to you guys. What they're telling you, because they need you to obey. No, you're right there, Mr. Donor. You're one of mine, but right there, you're wrong. You're wrong. I gotta be honest, Mr. Donor, with you. You're one of mine. You're one of mine. The retail price of that watch is $31,500. $31,500. And I'm going to have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this, but this watch was over 68, 62, 59, 58, 57. And I'm going to tell you because I'm like that. I got to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Don't pay for that watch. I'm telling you. And I'm leaving something else out. I'm leaving something else. Okay. I'm leaving something out. They're saying that this watch, listen to what they're saying. Ask me if I believe what I'm going to tell you. They're saying that this watch, this 1908 Platinum ice blue dial, is harder to get. Listen to this. Listen, is harder to get than a Pepsi Rolex GMT Jubilee bracelet. That is harder to get than a, what was the other one? A Bruce Wayne. Listen to this, what they're saying. These are the messages they give you people, like in the movie They Live. Obey. Obey. Ask me if you still haven't asked me, do you believe what you're saying? They're saying that this watch is harder. Listen to this. Okay, I got you now, Thurston Howard III. I'll tell you now. Guess what else they say that this watch is harder to get? I said to you, the Pepsi. I said to you, the Bruce Wayne Jubilee. Which one else? Nobody knows, right? It's quick. Okay, watch. It's harder to get than a Rolex Panda. Exactly. Coño, Mr. Donna, no joda. No joda. Es que este tipo está exagerado. They say it's harder than to get a Rolex, not the old one, not the old 116. No, the new one, the 126 Panda. This is what they tell you guys. This is why I told you guys obey. You need to watch the movie They Live, the one that Mr. Donor recommended to all of you. Okay, so Thurston Howell asked me if I believe that. Hell no. But that's the message they give you guys. And I'm going to tell you, I already told you, don't pay more. I'm going to tell you, don't pay more than $51,500. It's the truth. It's the truth. What I do believe, if you want to know what I believe, I believe that every single dealer that got greased up with one of them, they're putting it away. They're putting it away. Because the truth is, they're not making a whole lot of production of that watch. So I do believe they're holding on to the watch. That is harder to get than a Panda, than a Pepsi, than a Bruce Wayne, Jubilee, all that stuff. I don't think so. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the subliminal messages they give you guys, right? All right, here goes another one, ladies and gentlemen. Our next one is a Rolex Daytona Oyster Flex Meteorite Dial. Does anybody know what meteorite dial means? Let's see how my students are doing. 40 millimeter, 40 millimeter, unbelievable. Rose gold. This is a brand new watch. A brand new watch has been offered to us. It has partial stickers still. Partial stickers still. Unbelievable. Rose gold. Rose gold. 116515LN. So beautiful watch, ladies and gentlemen. This watch has a retail price of, $41,900. Let's round it up to $42,000. You had to be a big shot to get that watch from your AD. You had to be greasing up somebody real big time. Greasing up somebody really, really big to get that watch, And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the meteorite dial. Meteorite dial. Meteorite dial. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want with this Daytona Meteorite dial. But don't pay for that watch, no matter what they told you. Rose gold. Don't pay more than $72,000 in dropping. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Rolex Daytona two-tone yellow gold with stainless steel with a 40 millimeter champagne dial. Retail price is $24,500. $24,500. In the Rolex Daytona collectors, I gotta be honest, the champagne dial is, it's the one that nobody wants. It's like it's like a plague. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see that that champagne dial, on the Daytona. They don't want to see it. Two-tone, stainless steel with yellow gold. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the new reference number. This is the new reference number. It's a beautiful watch, the new one, the new reference number. Don't pay. Exactly, in the day, exactly. But don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for it more than $19,200. All right? This is a new one, but it's dead. It's dead. You do whatever you want. Our next watch is a Cartier Santos with a green medium. Green dial medium, Reference number RWSSA0061. Stainless steel. All stainless steel. Don't pay for this watch, ladies and gentlemen. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Sir, if you want this watch, this is the price you got to pay for this watch. I mean, you can pay for it the $7,000 they're asking you for it, but I'm going to tell you what you should pay for it. Don't pay, and I mean don't pay more, and I mean don't pay more than $5,300 in dropping. You do whatever you want. It's your money, Papa. It's your money. You can continue over there with that guy, the guy you give the $12 membership fee every month to be in their show. You can do that. Give them the $12.50. You can do that. But I'm telling you what it is. I'm going to give you the last watch market it is. But, I got to tell you, they're like number 2. Cartier is the number 2 watch brand that has sold the most. They have rings, bracelets, all that stuff, earrings, necklaces, all that good stuff. And this is my last watch. This is a gentleman that asked me for this watch. And I'm such a good guy that I'm gonna give him this watch market update because I'm a good guy. Saludos, Randy. Saludos. I'm gonna give you this watch market update, sir, because you asked for it. You asked for it in a very, very kind way, and I say yes, I'll give it to you. We're gonna be talking about the IWC Mark 18. Mark, like a mark, like the Lincoln Continental Mark 18, Mark 18, chocolate, chocolate brown dial. Reference number IW3270003. 327003. This is for you, sir. So you see that I'm giving you this watch market update. I don't care they're telling you that, they're going to sell you one for 4,500, for 4,000, and you like it. I don't care. I'm just going to tell you what I believe you pay for that watch. It's a beautiful watch. But don't pay for that watch more than 2,000. Don't pay more than $2,700 in dropping. Right, guys? There it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed this watch market update. You learned something. I really hope you guys learned something. And I'm going to be reading all of your comments that you guys have left. Remember, I don't have a big screen, so and I can't really see that well. I love you too, my brother, Dr. Evil. I love you too as well. I love you too, Franco Fiore. I love all of you guys out there. Thank you guys for joining me here, right? Thank you. But I am going to look at every single message that you guys left here. I hope you learned something of what's happening out there. I hope you learned something from the movie They Live. I hope you learned something from the watches Avanti, Avanti. And to the ones that didn't see the whole video, take a look at the first 20 minutes. It was pretty good. There were some things that you need to hear about. And now, be smart with your money, guys. Don't be dodo birds. We also have a watch private group in my channel of Facebook. It's under my name, Juan Nieves. It's look to about, and you'll find there Opus and Time watches. Request to join the channel. Maybe Sweet Kid Kino and Samantha, I'll let you in the channel. Right, guys? Anyway, guys, like me and Sweet Kid Kino say always, take care and brush your hair. Thank you for joining me. Peace.